morning, it's Tuesday, April 5th. Thanks so much for being here today. We're going to continue talking about purpose this morning. We've talked about families, we've talked about women and the unique purpose that women have, how they're especially gifted to bring nurture, to bring life, to bring comfort in ways that men cannot. And then there's this role that men have. And we're going to talk about that, and then I'll move on to grandparents and the purpose of grandparents, do that next video, and then single folks. Then we'll have the whole picture of what it means in terms of humanity, how God has structured us to bring honor to his name. So just as the unique qualities of women, of females, in terms of nurture, in terms of comfort, relationship, giving life, which are things that God has specially gifted women to do. Men, being co-equal image bearers with women, we need that very much to do what God has called us to do as men. And from looking at Genesis in chapter 1, God's command to occupy and control the earth, to bring honor to his name, we see women taking care of that role that I just mentioned. But now men have this role of what I believe is best typified or best called to be warrior shepherds. To take the lead in terms of initiating the occupation of the earth, not just in the physical occupation, but occupying it for the glory and honor of God, so that his reputation is enhanced. So the people just don't see someone who is ordinary or someone where might makes right, but they see men operating in such a way that it points directly to the power of God. So you don't need to be large in stature or super strong to be a faithful warrior shepherd. The warrior is one who contends for the honor and glory of God in all that he does. That means he's not going to cave in to the culture's idea of a man who needs to be someone who gets what he wants, who has a passion and fulfills it, who has a desire and gets it met. That's called objectification, where people, objects, jobs are made objects. And the most devastating thing is when men objectify women, where we use women to satisfy our desires. That's objectification. It happens in the church. It happens in our culture and society. We expect women to look and do a certain way so that we can be pleased, without any thought to their own special integrity that they have as women. So men, we're to be warriors, to fight for these things that God has called us to be. And again, it's not just the physical fighting. It's having the courage to stand up and say no to objectification, to say yes to building relationships, to protecting your home, to be a place of refuge for your families, where they know they're safe, where they know that you've got your back. They know that you care for them. That's the warrior part. The shepherd part is caring in such a way that you're not looking for something back. You see, a shepherd, especially if they work with, say, sheep, the sheep aren't giving much back. Sheep aren't real bright. They need constant care. And a faithful shepherd can't go around evaluating the performance of sheep. It's his job to protect them. Men, we have got to get out of this category of evaluating, performing, demanding that everybody meet our standards. Or somehow we pout or we're unhappy if we're not served. That's not manhood. That's neither being a shepherd nor a warrior. That's just being selfish. And our culture is full of selfish men. And sadly, it is full of selfish men in the church who want to use the things of God, the direction of God, the plan of God, to serve themselves. That's not representing God well at all. That's just demonstrating to women why they have to serve us in order to gain approval. That's where abuse comes from. That's where pornography comes from. That's where abortion comes from. That's where self-serving men who don't care about others, but who just want to get to where they want to go. Sometimes they think it's a good thing where they want to go. But if you have to step on other people to get there, if you have to degrade women to get there, if you feel like that you're more valuable than your wife and your children, you're neither a warrior nor a shepherd. You're just a bully. And you don't have to be big in stature to be a bully. A bully is a coward, someone who lives on the basis of fear. Men, we can't be that way. We have the courage to have the courage to look at God's word, model Christ, who suffered great pain to bring honor to God. If we're going to be warrior shepherds, we have to be prepared to endure the agony and pain of this world so that we can faithfully protect and faithfully care, so that we are faithfully tender, faithfully merciful, and faithfully strong, so that we're not objectifying. So we are a safe place for those that God has given us to care for. Where we're men who are fathers and husbands, who are not consumed with ourselves, but consumed with honoring God, and therefore we're going to treat those that God has given to us with a special care, a special honor, because God has given us creatures made in His image to love, nourish, and cherish. Men, we need to be warrior shepherds. That's what God has called us to be. There are not very many of them. It's a vanishing breed. It's an endangered species. Pray with me that God would restore that so that we raise up sons who engage in life that is truly life, who grew up to be warrior shepherds for the glory and honor of God. And that's the thought for this morning. And we'll be back soon talking about grandparents, single folks, and we'll keep moving on. Thanks so much for being here. Check us out everydaytalk247.com. If you haven't subscribed, consider turning on post notifications. These videos will come right to you. Thanks so much for your care and your support. Love your comments and feedback. And Lord willing, we'll be back soon. You have a great day. Bye-bye.